Welcome back to the Check Swing Podcast, y'all, with myself, the brains and brawn of the show, Mr. Coach Santa, and of course, the Hall of Famer himself, Rob Battle, in the building. What's going on, y'all?
Yo,
Welcome back.
Good,
We
was
are
good.
back. The people aren't privy to our they don't get to see our backstage conversations, pre-show conversations.
thank God.
Well, Rob was just schooling me on some stuff about sports around the world, man. About sports around the world. And he brought up something that we're going to bring up a little later because we just have to talk about it. We have to. And we have to, right? I think we're obligated as Eagles fans to talk about it.
Absolutely.
All right. Or should we just talk about it now? Should we just talk about it now?
Why not?
Why the hell not?
Tell
Well-
the folks what you told us.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to start off with
Asking you how y'all been.
yeah, that, and then the person on the first slide.
Oh, damn. Wow. Woo. Okay. I feel like the guy that booed at the Make-A-Wish kid right now.
Excuse me?
That's how I feel right now. Because I came with all that like excitement and energy, ready to go, happiness.
I am never gonna live that down.
And sometimes you got to follow the rundown and see that the first thing that we're talking about is maybe you should save it for the end of the show because like we're laughing now.
At this point, at this point, yeah, go for
we
it.
we can't laugh, like we can't. Okay, I don't even know if we should even do it at all at this point, to be honest with you. But okay, Rob, you opened up the backstage talk. Well, not really, but we were talking backstage, and you gave us some interesting news, some breaking news. I didn't hear about it, so it was breaking to me, and it might be breaking to some people that's watching right now. What was it that you heard?
Said those cowgirls signed CD Lamb to a $136 million contract. 100 million guaranteed. Was that over 4 years? Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
Whew. First of all, let me say, listen, congratulations to that man.
Get that
Great
money.
job to that man's agent. That's multi-generational money right there.
Get that money.
That is amazing. But I said to Miguel, with great money, with a lot of money comes big expectations. And we know that the cowgirls don't live up to those the past 30 years.
Exactly, and that's why I was glad he got his money. I'm glad he got it now. I'm glad he got it guaranteed because that officially means that he will not win a Super Bowl in Dallas.
Yeah. Every time they come out, they open up that checkbook, it never pans out. So that's always great for us to, what's the word I'm looking for? Great for us.
I mean,
revel in.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping he would get more rest. I was kind of hoping he would rest some more at home, or work out on his own, whatever it is he was doing, and miss a couple games, and maybe they miss him, and then he gets his guarantee 100 million, it's 25 million a year,
like Emmitt Smith.
Kind of like Ezekiel Elliott did.
And Dak.
And we all know how that turned out. But shout out to all the Cowboys fans. Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations for officially signing the guarantee that in 2024 you will not be the Super Bowl champions.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Especially since I think there was a reporter that actually talked to Jerry Jones about possibly giving up the GM role, and I don't think his response is well, yeah, I don't think he's ever going to give that up.
As I try to put the Jerry Jones' picture up there, I almost knocked my camera over.
Mm-hmm.
But here you go. That's what you're referring to, Miguel?
That's the one.
No, what is it? What did he say? He said, I've done it all. So I have an inordinate amount of confidence that if anybody can figure out how to get this ish done, I can figure out how to get it done.
And then he proceeded to tell the reporter that no one else can do it like me and all that garbage. And he believes he's the best GM in all the NFL.
So he did it. Basically, he's saying he's solely responsible for getting the deal done.
And he is. He is.
That man, 81 years old. He needs to sit down.
So he's 81, or were you just saying that?
I just looked it up. I had to. It was on my mind.
He's 81, and we're 2024, so 60. So he was like in his 50s when he was at his peak. Is that fair to say?
Sure.
Yeah.
Because he was putting the teams together then too, right? When in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because he bought the team. I want to say 89.
Mm-hmm.
No, 88. Because then his first thing was to fire the longtime Dallas Cowboys, Tom Landry, and then he hired Jimmy Johnson. Went through a couple of rough years, did the trade for Herschel Walker, and the rest is history. Or traded Herschel Walker for
Yeah.
That's what gave him the picks for Aikman, Emmett, and Irvin.
Aikman, Edmund, Irvin, and that offensive line.
That offensive line was crazy.
What a return on investment, eh?
Man.
And listen, it was great. But I still will say, and I know I've argued this with Cowboys fans for years, I would say that Emmitt Smith is probably the most overrated running back in the history of the NFL. Period.
It's tough. It's tough. What are you going off of?
But here's what I'm going off of. He pretty much played with 5 all pro center, guards, tackles his entire career. But you're telling me, you're trying to tell me, not you, but Cowboys fans, you're trying to tell me that he was better than Walter Payton, who never had an offensive line, even in the Super Bowl year. Barry Sanders, who never had an offensive line. I mean, there's countless running backs that did more with less, and for most of his career, he was never touched past the first 4 yards.
Well, I mean, we don't know. We don't know. It's hypothetical. We can do a lot of what ifs. What if Paul Gasol doesn't go to the Lakers? Does Kobe win 2 more championships?
True. I still think, but I think Kobe did more with less, and the proof is in the point. The proof is in the pudding in his pedigree. You know what I mean? Literally, I mean, if you watch, think about it like this. Whenever you watch a highlight reel of Walter Payton, usually it's like him like fighting, extra yards. Barry Sanders is him like, twirling around Ty Law out of his draws and stuff like that against the Patriots. But you don't really see highlights of Emmitt Smith other than like one juke, and then that's it. Like to me, the eyes don't lie. Emmitt Smith is the most overrated running back in history.
So here's the question that would have to come from me for you, because I have some things I would like to say on that. What are you? And it's kind of piggybacking off Rob's other question. What is a good running back to you?
I think somebody that actually is. I think that the Cowboys could have won without Emmitt Smith. I truly believe that.
If they plug someone else there.
If they plug someone, I'm not saying just anybody. I'm not going to say just anybody, but
a solid back, just a good. Let's say
right. All right. Let's compare.
If they had put Ricky Waters back there, it was
right. But even that, Ricky Waters didn't have the greatest offensive line, so Ricky Waters would have been even better in Dallas. Put it this way: put Heath Sherman on the Cowboys. Put give me Heath Sherman. Give me
the neck roll.
hey, thank you. Give me Charlie Garner on the Cowboys. Give me Herschel Walker. Give me Herschel Walker on the Cowboys. But then the trade wouldn't happen. So,
Well,
Yeah, James
maybe
Joseph
Charlie
back there.
Garner would stay healthy more.
yeah. But
So
I-
so
yeah,
your argument, like, there's a couple things I want to say about that argument. And the first thing I want to say is, would you be making the argument if he wasn't a Cowboy, right? But it doesn't matter. Don't even answer that. Okay. Don't answer that.
I'm a
No
big
matter
boy. I
what
can
the
answer
answer
it.
is, don't answer that. Okay.
I'm a big boy. I can answer it. If,
No, I
if
just don't want you to answer it because I like it better without the answer. That's all I'm saying.
touche.
So I would say, like, just talking about the people that you mentioned, the Barry Sanders, Walter Payton, I would say if I have to pay my money to see a running back, it would be Walter Payton or Barry Sanders before Emmitt Smith. Right? I would also say that if Barry Sanders ran behind that offensive line, he might still be playing today.
And he probably would have been the first running back to rush for 3,000 yards.
Oh,
Probably.
he definitely would have hit 3,000.
I don't feel like Emmitt Smith is the greatest running back of all time. It's hard to say that, like, when somebody says that they're like the greatest, I can't do that, but it's hard to argue because he broke the yards record.
See, but that's like the argument I have with like Dick Allen versus Harold Baines. Harold Baines is in the Hall of Fame and did nothing. Okay, let me not say that. He didn't do something. I think 1 year he led the league in like total bases, but he never led the league in everything. He basically is in the Hall of Fame because he showed up and he swallowed whatever Tony La Russa was giving him. So when it comes to Emmitt Smith, I think he was just right place, right time. You know, hand the ball off. I already have a 4-yard head start. And I believe Barry Sanders, I got to look at the terminology for it. I believe he actually had the most yards recovered from a negative yardage in history. So I think, meaning that he started in the negative more often than the positive.
Yeah, I mean,
when you look at Emmitt Smith, I don't even consider him a top 10 running back, to be honest with you.
So here's the thing, and I'll let y'all talk. It's arguable that you could say that about any great player. Like what would Mike done without Scotty? What would I don't know? What would Kobe have done without Shaq? You know what I mean? Like
that's what I said. We're talking about hypotheticals, but I do agree that. I mean, I would pay my money to see a good amount of backs perform before I would, if I had a choice over Emmitt Smith. I mean, there was nothing really like, oh snaps, Emmitt Smith did that. So I can go. I would watch. You know, Barry Sanders over him. I would watch Walter Payton. I would watch Jim Brown. I'd watch Earl Campbell. I'd watch LaShawn McCoy. I watch. There's a lot of folks. I mean, if we're talking about pure entertainment, and I want to go see somebody run, Adrian Peterson, like, you know, I get it, but you know, because he has the title doesn't mean. I mean, LeBron James has the scoring title, and there's tons of people that still thinks Michael Jordan is the GOAT, including myself. So.
Yo, for me, it depends on like what phase the moon is in, who I think is the greatest basketball player of all time.
You know what?
Like I really have that debate with myself. Like I be debating myself.
I mean, it should be.
Here we go.
I always say I always think about, all right, who changed or who influenced the game the most. I think that was one of our first episodes that we talked about as far as like greatness. And there's only two, in my opinion, which right now is Jordan and Chamberlain, Will Chamberlain. because Wilt Chamberlain, they actually tried to change the game to stop him. Moving the free throw line back, moving the making the height of the net, higher, doing certain things, the three in the key, like all these different rules were changed to try to stop Wilt, and he still couldn't be stopped. Now with Jordan, you can argue, not many rules have changed, and he kind of got the referees, but that I think is just a byproduct of greatness. You kind of get some favorable calls. But once he got beat down by the Pistons, he was off and running, and he got better. You know what I mean? And other than the 1 or 2 years where he didn't, play because of the death of his father, he still came back and picked up right where he left off. That's greatness. I'm sorry. I don't know if LeBron could do the same thing.
You know what? I'm disappointed in your response, Justin.
Why?
My response?
Yes, your response.
What did I say?
You said that you're teetering on a line, basically. Like,
well, so Rob, just keep in mind, he's an Embiid, apologist. So
I should know.
Remind me what I said, Rob. Remind me what I said.
You like I'm going back and forth with who's the GOAT. I mean,
Well,
you either think LeBron is the GOAT or Jordan is the GOAT.
Here's why. Like I always think of things that make me change my mind, right? So let's take what Miguel just said. And he said he don't think LeBron would have been able to do that, right? But if I look at how LeBron is playing at his age now and how Mike played at the same age LeBron is now, I have to say Mike wasn't able to do that, right?
I mean, Mike did drop a 52 at 39.
Are you talking about a game?
I'm just saying he averaged his last.
His team go to the playoffs.
His last season, he averaged 20.
His team go to the playoffs.
His last season?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't think so. They might have squeaked in.
No. Mike didn't see the playoffs with the Wizards.
I'm just saying the way that was the second comeback. Like, what are you talking about? He came back.
You literally took 2 years away from the game and then come back like nothing ever happened.
My thing is, and the reason why I feel like I have high quality to speak on it, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I wasn't a Jordan fan. I was not a Jordan fan. When I was younger, I thought I didn't like Jordan. I thought everybody was talking about the Jordan guy. I thought that he was overrated. Anytime I'm rooting against the Bulls, I don't know what moved me to do it, but I'm like, well, let me take a look at this. I remember I got Michael Jordan Playground. I watched that. I watched Come Fly With Me. And I watched what was the last Above and Beyond, and I was like, this dude's the truth. I can't deny it. And it's just the way he did it. I know that sounds like people say that, but when you look at his moves and his elegance, he's hanging in the air. 3 people drop and he come on the other side. I've never seen LeBron do a play like that. Yeah, he jumped high, he dunked on folks, but the dazzling that Michael Jordan did. And then when you go back and look at the film, and I just came across this video the other day, which I didn't even think about. When you look at his scoring, he doing it all off of 1 dribble, 2 dribbles, and 3 dribbles. He's rarely taking more than 3 dribbles. That's a surgeon. He out there getting surgical on them. He ain't like LeBron taking all them dribbles. He ain't James Harden, all the dribbles. This dude doing it off of 3 dribbles. He either catch and shoot, 1 dribble pull up, 2 dribble pull up, 1 dribble all the way to the basket. Like it was like poetry in motion, man. This like wow.
No, Rob. One thing I will say, because I think I read this argument like 4 or 5 years ago somewhere about how some people would have rather played with or against LeBron today because of how he respects other players versus like Jordan was just like, I'm gonna slit your throat and then feed it to your mother kind of sort of thing. Whereas they feel like LeBron has done more for the NBA and NBA players in regards to like knowledge of money and, working with agents and stuff like that. So other than like what he's done on the court, which I think Jordan is just superior. But there's some that feel that he is more superior off the court, has done more for the game outside than Jordan has.
Yeah, but I mean, him opening the school and all the others, that don't have anything to do with talking about as a basketball player.
True.
Well, here's one thing I will say, and this is one of the debates I was having with myself because I do that sometimes. With LeBron and Mike, I was thinking I want to ask you guys the same thing. You have to pick one for each. Who would you? There's two situations. Who would you want to start a franchise with? Okay, like you have to pick one for one and one for you can't have both of them the same thing. Who would you want to start a franchise with? And in the other situation, you have I have to win this game tonight. For me,
Jordan.
I have to win this game tonight is Mike. All day, every day, no question about it. The franchise, I'm starting with LeBron.
Really?
Yeah. Starting with LeBron. LeBron can play and can defend all 5 positions. So I can build something around that. Not saying Mike can't play 4 positions, but I don't know if he can play all 5. And I don't know if he can defend all.
I don't think they say that. I don't think that's. I mean, maybe it's accurate in today's game, and that's because you don't really have any bigs. But you're not putting LeBron on me, bro. If I'm a legit center, you're not putting LeBron on me. I'm going to abuse him, and that's what they saw.
Here's the thing, and that's fine.
They put him on the five.
But he's the same size as a lot of these centers now.
But he also, when you mention that, Miguel, when you mentioned about the game and stuff, he also made it soft, yo. He's part of that. He's part of that reason. He went OD with the flopping, which he still kind of does. He the one start complaining about 82 games. And no wonder, LeBron is how many seasons? 20, 21?
I think this is 20 coming up. I think it might be 21 because it was 04. It's class 04.
This will be 21. He's never, ever in his career played 82 games.
But isn't that because of that whole that resting kind of thing?
Yeah, and you know what? And what?
We call it the Embiid. He Embiids it.
Yeah, that's another thing. I'm not going to put that all on him because Popovich, started. But when you're the face of the league, you can't do that. Once he started doing it, it got worse. And now you got everybody else complaining about, 82 games too much. Nobody complained about 82 games. That at least I don't recall. Do you recall, Miguel? I don't.
Never. I always thought. But the other thing is too, when like with Jordan, he never had a true center.
Like these
he
guys,
never had a true center.
Like these guys, what are we saying? Paul George.
Now, when you say true center, you just mean like a star center,
like an Embiid, but good.
Like Paul George signed for what? 200 what?
I don't know. I don't know what the number is.
He signed for over 200. Well, somebody got like 250. Who was that? Somebody got 250. You mean to tell me
basketball.
I know that you guys haven't played professional basketball, and I can speak on it. $250 million. You think I'm going to complain about 82 games?
Paul
I've been in the worst conditions. You talking about private charter flights for travel, team planes. You're talking about I got to work out. If I got to go up to Cleveland and play with those guys before. Got to play pickup with LeBron and see the facility. I was there for a few days in Cleveland. Listen to what I tell you. And this is you'll have less of respect for guys that you see in the NBA that don't improve. When I tell you that you don't have to, I can walk into the gym like this. I can walk in the gym like this in my work slacks on and no shoes. And I'm good to go because they're giving me my jersey, shorts, socks, tights, sneakers. I don't even have to stretch myself. I don't have to rebound the ball. The weight room is right there. Next to the weight room is the cafeteria. Hot tub, cold tub, masseuse.
You ain't got a reason to leave.
Listen, you can sleep in the locker room. They got mouthwash, toothbrushes, hair dryer. Listen what I tell you, man. That's why I was frustrated when I got a taste of that and I saw folks, complaining and shit. Are you serious, bro? Do you realize what we go through? I played near the end. I played a couple months in Chile. Don't you know I couldn't even get ice after practice. I didn't even have ice to ice my knees. They didn't have ice. And then when we did get ice, you know what they did? They didn't even buy the ice. They would fill a gallon water jug up, freeze it, and they would drop that in the barrels that we would stand in for like the cold tub. That was the ice. We didn't have a trainer on staff during practices, and we didn't have one that traveled to the away games either. And then we riding on bus trips for 20 hours and 14 hours. Are you kidding me, bro? I get it. Y'all playing back to back. I played in Venezuela 3 games in a row. This is the playoffs. We played a 7-game series, 2-3-2. It was, I'll give you an example. We played Monday, Tuesday, travel Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, play. Travel, what's that? Sunday, Monday. That's how he played. Like, what are we talking about? You got $50 million for the year. Are you kidding me, bro? Come on, man.
How many games did you play a year? Like, how many games were scheduled, or did it vary?
So in Argentina, initially when I first got there, it was 44, like 42, 44 regular season. So that's 2 games a week. Typically, so if we play Thursday, Saturday, you're playing Thursday, you get there, depending on how far away the next city is, we'll shower, eat, and then we're right on the bus. Our buses had beds on them. We're right on the bus. We drive into the next city. We get there in the early morning. Sometimes we're sitting there because they're not ready to let us check in. Then we get in, lunch, take a nap, then we got to go practice. Then we play the next day and we travel. Like sometimes it could be 10 hours to that city, play the game, sleep, then another 8 hours to the next city, and but then the games went up. So one year we played close to like 80 games a week because they upped the games from like 40-something to 60. And then you add the playoffs and we were playing the other tournaments. So one season we got up there. And I wasn't complaining. Guess what? The longer we play, the more money I make.
I hear that.
Bonuses.
I just want to give Rob a shout out real quick because I think Rob might be the first person and probably the only person that and I'm going to assume he said it correctly because he lived there. Only person I've ever heard pronounce Chile the correct way.
Oh yeah, Chile.
And now I know how to say it.
Well, I better, man, as a fellow, native Spanish speaker now.
Because up here we just like Chile. Nah, Chile.
Naturally.
Like,
Chile, you got Chile, you got Uruguay. You know what I'm saying?
What a guy. Yeah.
You got Uruguay, you got Brazil.
And this past Olympics, I learned it's not Turkey.
Turkey.
It's Turkey.
Yeah, I played in Turkey.
That's this past Olympics.
Yeah.
I was like, what does he say? 'Cause I wasn't looking. He kept saying, Turkey. Turkey. What is he saying?
he's like, is
But
that
when
it?
you look at it, how it's spelled by them, it's spelled that way.
Sounds like you're ordering a sandwich with Grey Poupon on it.
Turkey.
Turkey. Okay.
Little bit of baseball. The what would you call it? The brackets for the WBC Classic, the World Baseball Classic, have been released.
Yes.
And Miguel is working hard to get us to where is it? To Japan, so we can broadcast.
Japan, right?
So we can broadcast from Japan. That would be dope, though.
Not
I
Japan.
would love to watch a baseball game. I should have. Did I send you that video?
It was Miami,
High
Florida.
school baseball game in Japan.
Yes, you did.
Did you see that crowd?
That's amazing.
Was that not amazing?
No,
I could not believe that.
the two places we need to go, one of the two places would either be Miami, for the simple fact that remember when Puerto Rico was playing against Dominican Republic and just the ambiance of the crowd there, or it's actually the pool A is actually going to be in Puerto Rico. So that's where we need to go.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Puerto
Yeah.
Rico, Boricua.
Yeah, yeah.
So, as you can see there,
Way
in 2026, which is why they, don't have baseball in the Olympics and all that. So that's why they developed this. 2026, the World Baseball Classic tournament, the pools have been set, and Pool A, you have Puerto Rico, Cuba. I'm just going to use the American pronunciation on all these. Okay, so don't be disappointed. You have Puerto Rico, Cuba, Canada, Panama. And is that a TBD? Like, is there four more teams?
Yeah, there's 4 more teams that they're looking to try to qualify. So I think they're going to have like little qualifiers before then to see who's gonna come in. Because
it's gonna be like the Little League World Series now.
Kind of sort of because there's a couple teams I'm trying to remember because I don't see. Chinese. I don't see Chinese Taipei on here.
They're my peoples.
Germany, Germany's not on here.
Yeah, they're my peoples. My mother-in-law from Taiwan. Yeah, Chinese Taipei is Taiwan.
Yeah, I don't see
my
them.
wife half Taiwanese. Yeah, they're my people. They just won the Little League World Series.
Yeah. So
Did y'all watch that game?
I watched it a little bit. I told my wife, I was like, "Look at your people, yeah."
That game was crazy. The way it ended, like my heart broke for those kids. The way it ended, man. To end like that.
Wait,
Is
did
that
they come back? Did they come back, Justin?
Florida came back and won.
That was when he threw the ball away?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was disappointing.
Wait, who won?
Florida won. United States won.
On a bunt.
They beat Chinese Taipei?
They did.
It was a bunt to the first base side. The pitcher picks it up cleanly, overthrows first base, and the runner.
No, he didn't even overthrow. There's nobody there.
Wait, what was the score?
I thought he overthrew it because I saw there was a kid like that was standing on the base just looking at.
Oh, okay, maybe he did overthrow. I thought nobody was there.
Wait,
No,
what was the score?
2-1. It was ended in the 8th inning. It was went to extra innings.
Maybe I was watching last year's game then.
No, you were probably watching the semifinal game.
The Chinese Taipei, they won that one like 4-1 or something like that.
Something like that against Venezuela.
Yeah, okay. So that's what I was watching. Okay.
Yeah, that was the semifinal game. Yeah, they
Oh,
did
so
the thing.
I didn't see the World Series there.
Yeah, the championship game was it was a good game, man. It was I mean, with Chinese Taipei scored in the first inning, and then there were no scores again until the bottom of the sixth inning when the kid from Florida scored. But it, I'll try to explain it real quick for those that may not have seen it.
Can we play it?
You have it? Well, no, I'm talking about the kid that scored in the sixth inning, not even the game winning one.
Oh, okay.
So in the sixth inning, the kid gets to first base. I forgot how he got on. Decided he wanted to steal second base to try to catch the kid off guard, right? The pitcher I'm talking about. The pitcher sees him, throws the ball to second base. The kid is going to be out at second base. He turns around, runs back to first, right? Kid throws the ball to first base. He catches the ball, goes to tag the kid. The ball flies out his glove, right? And goes out of play. This kid now is awarded third base. All this happened with 2 outs already. So it was like they just needed 1 out. And the kid, I think the next kid ended up getting the base hit, and the kid scored, tied up the game, goes to extra innings. Now we'll go ahead and I'll see, try to keep the sound off of it. But
It's muted.
you go here. This the game winning play right here. Here's the bunt. Boom, drops it down to first base.
Oh,
side.
you're right. There was nobody there.
Yeah, the first baseman charged, and they won the game just like that. And that's how they won the game. And look, nobody wants to bunt no more, right, Miguel? Nobody ever wants to bunt. They want to eliminate the bunt. They want to take out the bunt. Look, the kids won a championship off a bunt because things happen.
Why are you trying to take away the bunt?
Because it's not sexy.
So they're not, the league is not trying to take it away. Excuse my vernacular, but people that are coaching the game today don't believe in the bunt. They believe it's for wusses. I'll just put it that way. They believe it's for wusses.
And never mind the fact, like when you watch, if you watch college baseball, they're bunting all the time. And it's not like Division II, like your UNC, Florida, Texas A&M. Like the big teams they're trying to win games. You know what I mean? And even coaching now, when we start batting practice, I usually have everybody on the team. All right, I need 3 bunts, and then you're out. First base side, third base side, and then bunt for a hit. And I still have my players come up to me and coach like, why are we bunting? I'm like, to try to win. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's this big secret. And even sometimes I'll say, okay, let's try to, hit and run, hit the ball the opposite way. And what they try to do is they just try to hit the ball harder, which they wind up pulling the ball even more. So it's kind of a culture of between analytics and nothing against Driveline. I get the science and all that, but they're kind of geared towards exit velo, pop time. So it's all about getting hard numbers, but it doesn't necessarily have to equate to like accuracy or even winning. You know what I mean? So I'm the type of, I'll even call a suicide squeeze every once in a while. You know what I mean? I think I did it against one team my last time with my previous team, and everybody just stood still. Like they didn't even try to play. They didn't even try to play the ball. And I heard the other coach comment, "Oh wow, suicide squeeze. That's new." And I'm like, "Damn! Like y'all just hate any type of small ball." And it's almost like they were like. I'll hear even, I'll say fans. I won't say parents, but I'll say fans. And a pitch will be high for ball 3, right? Don't take a walk. Don't take a walk. You're up there to hit. And it's like, so you want them to swing at crap? But this has been going on for like almost 10 years. I've been hearing this gradually, but now, so it's like, I know that you're trying to get your son to college and everything like that, but I think the Vanderbilts, the Tennessees, they're looking for ball players now that can play multiple positions, and that know how to win any way possible. Not just how hard you feel, not just how hard you hit, but can you throw the ball to first base? Can you be in position to receive the ball? Can you do the basic stuff correct all the time? Home runs are nice, but it's not the end all be all.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. There are ways to play the game that don't involve home runs. Not everybody's going to be a home run hitter, parents. They're just not. I know everybody, well, I shouldn't say everybody. I know there are parents out there that feel like their 10-year-old son is going to go straight from the 10U team to the MLB. I know there are many of you out there. I'm telling you, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. So relax.
I'll say this about previous organizations that I've worked with, and I'll sometimes I'll share my experience with Justin. But there were times where parents would send me emails, and it's nothing but numbers. My 8-year-old, I think it was one of the first teams that the team in Philadelphia that we coached. Oh, my 8-year-old, his exit velo went up 1.35%. He also can play all the positions, but he's leaning towards being a pitcher, but he favors catching, but he's an outfielder. I'm like, so which one is it? So, and like I'm not talking like 1 or 2 sentences. I'm talking about paragraphs with data from wherever they trained indoors from like All-Star Baseball or Wow Factor or McGillicuddy's House of Baseballs or whatever. It's like they get all these stats and stuff, and and I feel for the parents because the parents are like trying to understand the data too. But I think sometimes we have to pull back and just be simple. Like, is he hitting harder than he did 6 months ago? Okay, that's a good sign. But as far as like, he's not going straight from. He's not going to accept a scholarship at 8 years old to Texas Tech. Like, let's be real,
Some of the parents think they will. Some of them think they will. So, Miguel, we need to get to either Puerto Rico or
Puerto Rico,
Miami or Japan.
I'm nervous about Japan.
Why is that?
Because I don't think anything there will fit me. And I'm nervous.
Home of the sumo.
I thought, yeah, I thought about it too, but I thought I would be like, I don't want to get like kidnapped and then be forced into sumo matches against my will.
The sumo trafficking ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They'll look at me like, oh, we got a good one. He's a good fat one. Let's break his hamstring.
He gonna get drugged and wake up in the sumo outfit, and next thing you know, they can be like, fight.
I mean, they're gonna Google. What is your wrestling name? It's Miguel Honda. I'm gonna have E Honda. They're gonna put a wig on me, and
That's me Honda.
The sumo trafficking ring. Oh,
well, if you better win. That's all I know. If it happens, you better win. That's all. You better not lose.
You find me somewhere having some ramen, some authentic ramen. I'll make that ramen and sushi. Love it.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe we can swing both. Maybe we can do Japan for a day and then do Puerto Rico.
Japan for a day.
I know I'm making it sound like it's a trip to Charlotte, North Carolina.
Long trip
In
for
my
a
mind,
day.
I'm like, Japan for a damn Puerto Rico. I'm like, did he mean to say Miami? 'Cause,
Yeah, man, you know what
I
I
don't
meant.
think you can do that.
Yeah, you're right.
Miami.
Uh,
Miami to Puerto Rico is an easier, shorter
Quick-
flight.
Quick note before we get into our dummy. It's not even as dramatic as I'm making it. I'm just trying to get my words together because I'm surprised because I didn't know it wasn't sanctioned already. But Miguel, you informed us that girls flag football is could be sanctioned by the PIAA. I didn't know it wasn't sanctioned already.
Yeah, I think it was kind of going under like it was more so
thing.
like exhibition, right? So it wasn't um like official, and just like with any sport, it has to be sanctioned by
The governing
athletic associations from the state. And I noticed because we're close to a couple of schools, like there's a Dunbar High School, maybe like 15 minutes from here, and I actually saw a girls flag football, practicing. So it's starting to be a thing here in Baltimore because of what's happening in PA. So it looks like it could be something that could be spreading, which is a good thing. So yeah.
Did I tell you that Penwood has a girls flag football
You
team?
did tell me, and I think didn't that piggyback off of it? Because I thought Academy Park 2 also had a. Because I had one of my goddaughters went to Academy Park, and she said she was going to the flag football game, and then she wound up participating by the end of the season. So
How long ago was that?
it was my last year in PA, so I would say 19.
Because
20.
I know at a time like there were flag football teams at some of the high schools, but they were calling them like powder puff?
Power,
football?
yeah, the Powerpuff League, yeah.
They were calling it that, and then when the Eagles got involved,
Right.
that's when they started just calling it flag football. But it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch.
And it's so right now Pennsylvania boasts more than 100 teams and is a position to see continued growth. So in July they approved a second reading of a bill to actually sanction the sport in Pennsylvania. So it's still going through the voting phase, but it looks like it's going to be a thing.
That's cool.
So
That's
yeah,
cool. You mentioned a high school earlier in your statement, Dunbar High School. Have you heard about Dunbar High School's basketball, like the history there?
Vaguely. I'm still learning all the sports around here. I've been so glued with baseball and how big baseball is out here, and but I've heard of.
So
Dunbar.
I believe I'm going to say it was in the 80s. It was the 80s. Dunbar High School had at one time 3 future NBA players on their team.
Okay.
And I believe I'm hoping I get the names right. I can't remember the third one, but it was Muggsy Bogues for one. I know for sure it was definitely Muggsy Bogues for one. I believe one was Kendall Gill, and I can't remember who the third one was. But I believe they had 3. I believe they had 3. Might want it's. I think ESPN might even did a thing on it, or somebody did a documentary on it about Dunbar's that historic high school team that they had there. Shout out to Dunbar High School. So, do we want to go ahead and go to the big dummy?
So there's actually 2. The first one is kind of self-explanatory when you read it. So we'll pause for a moment as you read it. Big dummy, big dummy. So so they're they're not making they're not making it too bright these days. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably I mean, come on. It was a long. I mean, not a long time ago, but I mean, it was a long time ago. But
everybody knows how he died, so that's the whole. You know what I mean? It would have been even worse if he would have said like JFK. You know what I mean?
it would have been a lot worse if he had said JFK.
Because you actually saw
because that was more recent history.
You saw his brain, so
and mostly what our generation knows of JFK is the assassination.
Right.
Lincoln. First, you probably think Emancipation Proclamation. Then you probably think the assassination.
Right.
But yeah, that's poor. Poor choice of words. But we know what you were trying to say. But
the bigger dummy is this gentleman who does something.
Right?
The third one, right? Who does something quite embarrassing. And again, the video kind of speaks for itself. So one of the things that you're supposed to do when you pimp a home run is, you want to be cool when you run around the base or when you're looking at it. But what you don't want to do is, act like you're cool and then look like a big dummy. Yeah. So,
Can we watch that again? Yeah, I'm going to see that.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be somebody else. Of course, I haven't seen that clip, but I thought it was going to be somebody else, man. I don't know if y'all heard. And I can't remember this guy's name, but it's the guy who played the quarterback for the American flag football team that won the flag football world championship. Say he's better than Patrick Mahomes.
Oh boy. Oh boy. But you must be pretty doggone good there, sir.
He never played college football.
Wow.
No, he's so good he didn't have to play college football.
The nerve of some of these folks, man.
Too good for
What was that? Was it in the Michael Jordan documentary? The one dude that I think it was a rookie that got drafted by the Bulls and he challenged Michael Jordan and he just ate him alive in practice. Like he challenged him to like a 1-on-1 and I think he got the first shot and then didn't shoot. Like just tore him apart.
Oh, you talking about what's his name? Corey Benjamin, I think his name was.
Yeah, and just embarrassed him.
Yeah.
Just embarrassed.
Like 95, 90, no, it was like 93.
Something like that, yeah.
He did that when he was older too. When that kid OJ Mayo came out, OJ Mayo challenged you.
Oh, he did. He did.
Yeah.
OJ Mayo was supposed to be that dude too. I remember.
Here go another one for you, Anthony Edwards. He's a big dummy for his comments too.
What did he say? I never saw what he actually said. What did he say?
He said basically like the only skilled player during that time was Michael Jordan. That's why he was so dominant. That's why when they saw Kobe Bryant, they were like so shocked because the players weren't skilled then. And like now in this era, all the players are skilled. Kevin Garnett had a response to it, a nice response to it on Instagram, but it's an interview for him. It's a video.
There's a response by one Magic Johnson.
Oh, Magic Johnson said, "I don't even respond if Jose ain't never won a championship."
Right. He said, "I never respond to a guy who's never won a championship. I've got nothing to say. He didn't win in a college championship. I don't even know if he won a high school championship."
Yeah.
Damn, Magic.
Yeah.
That's the coldest I ever heard Magic come out somebody.
I'm
Dang, I ain't know Magic had that in it.
He basically personally attacked Magic. He said Jordan was the only skilled player. That mean he thought Magic was trash and all the rest of it was trash. But I think cats are sleeping on Larry Bird, yo. Larry Bird was a
Yo,
cold mother.
Right?
yo, I've never, not to be racial, but I never seen a white boy so fearless against brothers in my life.
Yeah, Larry was cold. And
He
they
took
were
it to
saying,
everybody.
he wasn't getting
Yo,
that
there's
if
a
he was black. He would have been that dude if he was black. If he was white, he was cold.
Yeah, he was cold.
There-
He was
There's
cold.
a story. There's a story out that Larry got pissed off at the opposing team because they had a white boy defending him.
Oh yeah.
I heard that story.
He said, "Don't ever do that again. Don't ever
Yeah.
disrespect me like that again."
Yo, Larry was cold, man. If you could,
And
like,
then-
I just
and then
implore
tell you-
like younger people, yo, just go watch Larry highlights, man. Larry was cold, man.
and then tell you how he was going to give it to you.
Yep.
And then drop 30. He dropped a triple double or on 36 with his left hand against the Trailblazers, I think it was.
Mhm.
Did he do that?
Yeah, that happened.
Damn. Larry's cold, man.
See, that's the
And
basketball.
like we
I
hate
like.
Larry Bird because we're like it's a Sixers territory, but Larry was cold, man. Larry was cold.
Hey, but all respect to Celtics fans that one time when they were chanting for us to beat LA.
Oh yeah, because nobody liked LA.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, is that it? We're done.
Yeah, we didn't.
Oh, nope.
Some
There's one more
comments
thing.
in there.
One more
There-
thing.
Well, there was two. The first one was the Alabama high school player that passed away.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Yeah, he was. They said that he was the quarterback for this Alabama high school, and they said the hit it didn't seem like it was anything, and I think he landed he broke his fall with his arm, and he landed on his arm, but he got up woozy, and then when he came off the field, they said he was real dizzy. He wound up actually throwing up. And then he started convulsing, and then he passed out, and he just never regained consciousness.
damn.
So, and they stopped all sports for the week. They held like a vigil, and he was very beloved by his school. So, prayers out to his family.
I don't like hearing that stuff at all, man. That's. I mean, school just started. I mean, not that makes it any worse or better, but like, damn, like that's.
There was a kid in from a local Baltimore high school that he collapsed and died about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. High school football player.
Due to heat, or was it a hit?
Well, they're still looking into it, but he had a pulmonary embolism, and he was complaining about headaches. So the coach kind of had him sit on the side or whatever. He got examined, and same thing. He had a pulmonary embolism that was fatal.
it's the unexpected.
Yeah.
Yes, man. Those are so tragic. Man. It's like
Thank you,
you
David
go to
Wingate.
practice.
That was the other player at Dunbar High School.
Okay.
I believe it was Muggsy Bogues. I believe it was. So was it Kendall Gill? Maybe it wasn't Kendall Gill then. It was David Wingate, Muggsy Bogues, and then there was somebody else.
Yeah, they had a few. They did was it a 30 for 30 one now?
Yeah, I think they did. I still haven't seen it though. I want to see it.
Oh, this is good. This is good. You gotta check it out.
And then there was also this story here that yesterday actually it came out. I keep forgetting that today's Tuesday.
I saw that.
WWE remembers Sid Udy. Is that how you pronounce his last name?
I guess I knew him as Psycho Sid or Sid Justice.
Yeah,
I-
I'm gonna use his last name.
I just remember he was technically the first person to ever kick out of Hogan's massive leg drop.
Yeah, I always knew him as I can only like really Sid Vicious is how I remember.
Yeah,
Like
Sid
when you Sid Justice, that was just weird to me.
Yeah, and I always thought that he was underutilized in the WWE, even though I think he won the world title like 3 or 4 times.
Mhm.
And then of course recently, like I think it was like 10 or 12 years ago, that nasty foot injury where he jumped off the middle rope and landed, and then his leg
Fake snapped.
snapped at the shin. And
Oh, Joe.
he was actually telling a story about that because they said like they were going over the script beforehand, and he said that he didn't feel comfortable doing it because he was just coming off of a shoulder surgery, but they kind of made him do it anyway. So he blames WCW for
Oh
all
wow.
that. So
Is that what eventually led him to leave?
yeah, I think he made like a smaller run. He came back to the WWE like maybe 3 or 4 years after that, but it didn't last too long, and then he had to call it quits. But his son posted last night that he was actually battling cancer for like the last 2 or 3 years.
Hmm.
So
Yep.
You got another name in there, Jay. My boy said Reggie.
Lewis.
Yeah, I was about to put that in there. Yep. So it was David Wingate, Muggsy Bogues, and Reggie Lewis. Reggie Lewis is another athlete passed away on the court.
Mhm.
I remember that. I remember that.
Was he in that same draft? Was it him and was he in the Limb Byes draft too?
No. No, no, I don't think so. Because Reggie Lewis was a rookie when he died, yes?
Yeah, for the Celtics. The other person is actually Reggie Williams.
Reggie Williams, yes.
So it was Muggsy Bogues, Reggie Lewis, Reggie Williams, David Wingate.
Okay, that was 4 guys.
That's tough.
There's a book out called The Baltimore Boys, 82-83 Dunbar. They said they didn't just survive, they thrived.
Yo.
Yeah, they got that's the 30 for 30 Baltimore Boys.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I watched that one. That's pretty good.
Yo, I can just imagine, right? Like Muggsy Bogues was cold, right? Cold hand, but I could just imagine like the other 3 was probably like, yeah, we going to the league, blah blah blah. Muggsy probably like, I'm going to the league too, and they was like, man, ain't nobody ain't nobody gonna pick to have you in the league, like you know what I'm saying? Like they probably gave Muggsy the business, man.
Yo, I don't think they talk enough about that. I don't think he gets enough credit, man.
Well, for being the height that he is,
Yeah,
and
bro.
and accomplishing what he
Sorry.
did.
I'm thinking like, I'm sorry. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself. Y'all cats 6. Ain't no way. I'm letting this 5'3", 5'2" dude. Y'all put his little butt right in the post. Yo, he's going to be such a defensive liability that he can't be on the court. There's no way. How did that happen? I mean, the dude is a walking miracle.
I wanted the same thing, and I watched, and I don't know how he's not in the post every single time down the court. Never understood that.
I think they just had a
Nate
way.
Robinson, Spud Webb.
They had a way that basketball was supposed to be played, I guess, at that time, and that guards really weren't posting at that time like that at that time, except for
True.
I think Mark Jackson was like the first one that was really like doing it.
Yeah.
And then it became a thing. My boy mentioned Hank Gathers and
Daniel Rump. Yep, I put it up there. You got it in there. Yeah, did I miss anything?
No, I think we're good. Everything else we can kind of push to next week.
All right. Any last words, gentlemen?
No, I'm looking forward to seeing our Eagles play next Friday, and I'm even more excited to see the Cowgirls fall flat on their face again this year.
I sure hope so.
Only thing I got is a little off a sports topic. if you're watching the show and you're from the city of Baltimore and you catch the 154 bus, the bus says express, which means there's designated stops. It does not stop until it gets to Dunbar. Stop ringing the damn bell at North Ave. You're not, the driver's not letting you off the bus.
Sounds like that's personal.
Dude. And then because the sign says 154, it says express, and then they always say what they got to do with me. Seriously? Read the damn sign.
I feel like, see, last week it was me, now it's Miguel.
Yeah, dude, no, dude. But you went off on some. You went off on some deep stuff. We went off on what, pedophilia and what else was it?
We definitely went a whole different route. And then
Because we were like the Phillies won 3 in a row. He's like, yeah, I hate pedophiles. It's like, what? You sound like one of the dudes. You sound like one of the dudes outside the ER in downtown Baltimore.
Hey, well, look, we gonna get up out of here, y'all. We appreciate y'all hanging with us here at the Check Swing Podcast with myself, the brains and the brawn of the situation, Coach Santa, and of course the Hall of Famer, Mr. Rob Battle, in the building. We will talk to y'all next time here on the Check Swing Podcast. We will talk to y'all next time here on the Check Swing Podcast, where we will be giving you our Eagles predictions for the season. We got to do that again. We got to hold up to tradition, Miguel.
Yes,
all right,
we do.
and then of course we'll lose them at some point during the year, and then find them in like April and say, "Hey, I was almost right." But the fans of the show know exactly what I'm talking about. But anyway, we're gonna talk to y'all next week. Peace, and that's it. Bye.
And we hate pedophiles.
And we hate pedophiles.
Sucks.